A quiet corner in the countryside in Oklahoma, one of the most rural states in America. Hills, cows grazing peacefully, and suddenly we're at OFASTS, the biggest gun festival in the country. For a whole weekend, more than 2,000 big guns enthusiasts gather to shoot down targets. The whole hill is riddled with bullets. The founder of the event is a 56-year-old gunsmith, Mike Friend.
Here at OFAST, they bring their families, they can look at history, and they can just have fun all weekend, shooting the vehicles, different targets, and every now and then we'll blow something up, and it's just a blast.
The festival brings together people from different backgrounds. Men, women, the rich and the poor, all united by their passion for guns.
Music to my ears. That's how we have fun in Oklahoma, right there, right there.
Participants can rent all kinds of weapons or come and test guns from their own collection, like this one, a Russian machine gun from the First World War. For 100 euros, you can treat yourself to more adrenaline by shooting from a helicopter. For 17-year-old Paige, this is a first. It's no coincidence that the festival is based here. Oklahoma is one of the most liberal states when it comes to gun laws. To buy a gun, all you have to do is be of age and have no criminal record. You don't need a permit, even for weapons of war.
The people that don't live in Republican states, they don't understand because they wasn't grew up around guns, and to them, it's crazy. To us, it's normal.
The thing that makes OFAST so popular is that it is child-friendly. Admission is free for children under 10.
You want to do semi or full? Semi? Okay, we'll do semi. Does she know what it means? Oh, yeah. Yeah, she knows.
This girl learns to shoot before knowing how to write. She makes her dad proud.
And if you don't start them off young, they're not going to be as introduced into it as they get older. So the younger you can get a kid in the outdoors and shooting guns, the better life they'll have. Y'all have a good one.
People here defend their lifestyle. It's a state with the most conservative population in the country. Oklahoma is in the heart of the Great American Plains, right in the middle of the Bible Belt, the most religious area of the country. The 4 million residents are predominantly white, Christian, and mostly agriculturally oriented. Here, they hunt deer raised on farms. No other state is as involved in defending the main principles of the Republican Party.
God, guns, and glory, right?
During the conquest of the West, Oklahoma saw the most famous criminals like Jesse James or Bonnie and Clyde. The state has retained some of the old ways from that time and is a record breaker in terms of criminal law enforcement.
We are spending more money on people in prison per year than we are for students.
Sheriff's Office, identify yourself.
Here, small crimes lead directly to prison.
So in Oklahoma, whiskey manufacturing is a felony. It's the same penalty as like manufacturing methamphetamine.
Our mentality is kind of left over from the Wild West that we expect law and order.
Oklahoma has the highest incarceration rate in the country and the highest number of women in prison. This is because of a law that punishes them more than men for the same crimes.
We know someone that received a 30-year sentence for failure to protect their child from their abuser and the child's abuser, who ended up with 2 years in county jail.
Oklahoma has been affected by 2 violent outbreaks in American history. The racist massacres in Tulsa in 1921, where between 100 and 300 black Americans were killed by the masses, and the Oklahoma City bombing of a federal building by white supremacists in 1995, where 168 people were killed. Today, radicalism has a different face. Christian far-right activists are mobilizing.
In our nation, in our state, a lot of people like to pretend that abortion is now.
Under pressure, the governor banned abortion. Some women dare to protest, but they are few in numbers. As a result, women are forced to travel thousands of kilometers to have an abortion in neighboring states.
I mean, we were looking at remedies. I know, like castor oil. I was trying to just see any way rather than coming here and doing it safe.
Oklahoma, a paradise for conservatives, but a living nightmare for everyone else. Our journey to Oklahoma begins in Stigler, a small town of 3,000 inhabitants set in a landscape that resembles the Wild West. Thousands of acres of fields where cattle graze between oil pumps, where everyone meets at the weekend for a barbecue or to watch the children's football game. The most important value here is order. The state is one of the toughest in the country when it comes to dealing with offenders. The law enforcer here is the town's sheriff.
He's going to be arrested for driving under the influence, operating a motor vehicle with no valid license, and transporting no container of alcohol.
The 38-year-old Tim Turner has been the county sheriff for 6 years, a law enforcement veteran who collects awards like Sheriff of the Year or Best Investigator. Elected and re-elected by the public, the secret of his popularity is his uncompromising attitude. Tonight, he and his men will go on a patrol searching for offenders.
The mission will be that we focus on aggressive traffic patrol, and then we'll set up a few driver license checkpoint after dark later on in the evening.
His credo is 2 words: zero tolerance.
I will tell you that we are probably one of the most aggressive sheriff's offices in the state, and I don't want to say that we always find it, but I will tell you that a lot of times when we're out in force like this, something will happen. Because I mean, we know what to look for, we know who to look for, and it doesn't matter your ethnicity, doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your sex. I mean, if you're doing wrong, we're gonna come find you.
As night falls, the sheriff's team sets up checkpoints. The roadblock has been placed at a strategic junction between 2 roads that cross the country.
You guys have anything illegal in the vehicle we need to know about? We kind of keep an eye out for out-of-state plates, such as Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, because they're all border states of Mexico. You know, and a lot of drugs come out of Mexico, and they'll come up through here, and they'll try to go to the East Coast somewhere, and a lot of them will cut through our county.
Sheriff Turner is stationed a bit farther.
Well, once you guys set up, I'll be a runner. I'll sit down here in the dark and see if we get one running. County deputies have one of the toughest jobs. I tell my guys all the time that, you know, a lot of municipalities and city police officers, they get to work under street lights. Sheriff deputies work with flashlights.
In the middle of the night, anyone seen is a suspect. A passerby appears in the distance.
What is it?
The man is carrying a rifle and starts to run away.
501 LaFleur County unit. I got a man with a gun down here in Callington. I got permission to make contact. He's running, he's running. Be a white male, black shirt, blue jeans, ball cap, carrying a rifle.
The sheriff is quickly joined by his men.
Hey, Chase, he comes right through here. I mean, you can see open field right there. He's got to be bedded down right here, or he's went into one of these.
The officer's presence startles a neighbor.
Who are y'all looking for?
The guy that just ran with a gun.
Somebody ran with a gun?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right, have a good day, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The fugitive vanished, leaving everything he was carrying behind.
Huh? Couple mil. Is that what it is? Yeah, that's the ball cap he had on.
I was more concerned about.
Sheriff's Office, identify yourself.
That's it. That's the long gun.
As they search, the sheriff's team gets hold of the fugitive's loot, a bag and a computer.
There's no reason that a normal person runs. The stuff he's threw down could be stuff that he just got out of a burglary. We don't know. But one thing about it, he was up to no good.
The sheriff's men search the area, but fortunately for the suspect, they do not find him. The laws in Oklahoma are quite strict. A simple burglary is a crime punishable by several years in prison. Before leaving, the sheriff comes across yet another surprise.
I don't think we were supposed to find this.
What is it?
Looks like a moonshine still, bro.
Are you serious?
Get over here.
A discovery that could send one to prison. An illegal alcohol distillery. All the equipment is seized.
Somebody's been using it. So in Oklahoma, whiskey manufacturing is a felony. It's the same penalty as like manufacturing methamphetamine.
In this state, owning a weapon of war is allowed, but making your own alcohol can land you in prison for 3 years. With this type of law, Oklahoma has the highest incarceration rate in the U.S. The next morning at the sheriff's office, all seized weapons are turned over to his deputy.
How you, sir? What's going on? Man, those guns, we were bringing over to Timmy at 1.
Okay.
We got in your office, so.
The only case where weapons are prohibited is when their owners have committed a crime or an offense.
Oh, crap.
These guns are going to be put amongst hundreds of others in the evidence room. Floor to ceiling, weapons seized in operations around the county. Most of them will be sold at auction at the end of the investigation.
For a small county, we shouldn't have hardly any, but we do have a few, yeah. And we're running out of space. We need more space, which is sad.
As for the offenders, they're not far away.
Okay, let's go.
They are at the end of the corridor.
You guys have any guns on you? Okay.
The sheriff also runs a detention center where 76 men and women are detained separately.
We may catch them with drugs or burglary or possession of stolen stuff. Just whatever they're arrested for, we'll bring them in here.
Oklahoma is known for its ultra-repressive panel policy. Capital punishment is used more than anywhere else in the country. Offenders get sent to prison after their first crime. After committing their third one, they are automatically sentenced for life. Here, prisoners are in pre-trial detention, and the one who welcomes them is Shane Duncan, the jailer.
Orange jumpsuits. So I figure out what size they need, bring their orange jumpsuit out, get them shoes. So we take them in there, we do a strip search on them, we bring them back out, and once we bring them back out, we take them to, we put them here against the wall, and we do their picture. This is our kitchen area.
These are the prisoners in charge of cooking.
They make breakfast, lunch, and supper for everybody in the back, all the other inmates.
For the inmates, cooking is a privilege reserved for model prisoners. They are called the trustees, the ones who are trustworthy.
And like I said, this is where they spend their downtime.
A rather comfortable cell with its own shower.
We have 5 inmates right now that we have out on trustee status. They do laundry, they cook, they go out around the community, pick up trash.
For the others, it's 15 prisoners per cell and only 1 hour's walk a day in this tiny yard. Here, temporary detention can last a very long time.
They could be here for a couple of years. If not, they'll go to DOC, which is the Department of Corrections, and we might just house them for a few months. So some of them can be up to 8 or 9 years and do it here.
I do need to talk to Terry.
To me?
Yeah, when are y'all gonna give me a chance of being a trustee, man? Hey, I could have ran. Hell, there was a hole in the ceiling for 2 days, and I stayed on my rack. And y'all afraid I'm gonna run? It ain't fair. But I ain't been in no trouble. I ain't been in no fights.
Let me talk to Timmy.
Pinky promise.
This guy here, he's been an outlaw all his life, but I still like him. I mean, you can't help but like him. But that's how most of these guys are. They've just made a bad decision at some point, and that's why they're here.
Good guys who can spend a long time in prison. In Oklahoma, even those who didn't commit crimes are punished. It only takes a small offense to have your name displayed in public. Before leaving the city, we stopped to visit another local specialty, a printing house. David and Chris Reed, a father and son, are the owners of a very successful newspaper in the state. Jailbirds, the monthly account of all the offenders.
So this is the last one of today. Looks good. Looks like they could have been a little bit brighter on the black on some of them, doesn't it? That's okay.
The editorial line is quite straightforward. The monthly magazine publishes all the photos taken by law enforcement agencies during arrest of county residents, from the most serious crimes to minor offenses. A concept that attracts 25,000 readers per issue, especially in the countryside.
So if you're in a small town, you look through Jailbird, man, I know him and him and him. But if you're in a big city, you may not know very many of the people. So
all these offenders have their faces printed and distributed, even though many will be found innocent. An added layer of humiliation for the offenders, which doesn't seem to bother the father and son.
It's the Oklahoma legislature that decides what information is available to the public. So what we do, the only thing we do that's different is we take the information that is available to the public and make it public. People are in jailbirds. They're not in jailbirds because of me. If it wasn't us publishing, it'd be somebody else.
No mercy for criminals, even those who are ultimately innocent. Another example of Oklahoma's uncompromising approach. One category of the population is particularly targeted: women. In this state, they are often sentenced more than men for committing the same crimes. As a result, Oklahoma has the highest rate of women in prison in the country. Christy Luther knows a thing or two about it. She spent 5 years behind bars for causing a fatal traffic accident. Now she runs hairdressing classes in prisons and speaks against the unfair laws against women in the state.
They love you here.
I love them here. Treat them like people, Thank you.
Many of them are imprisoned only for using drugs, but some have been convicted of a crime that is punished in Oklahoma more than anywhere else: maternal neglect.
Yes, nice. You guys are doing braids and roller sets. Yes, ma'am. Awesome.
In Oklahoma, if a child is abused, even if the father is the abuser, the mother will be convicted of failing to protect the child.
It's my initials. Look at that.
The whole legal system is a nightmare for women in Oklahoma. In the evening, we meet up with Christy in a small house just outside of town.
You got pineapple in there or no? No. Okay, I want to try this. Is this your first smoothie that you made? Second smoothie you made since you've been out?
Oh, I'm scared.
I don't know. Is it going to blow?
Oh, wait, I know why. I forgot I
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a lot.
Yeah, I know that is a lot.
Upon release, former inmates often have nowhere to go. With donations, Christy was able to buy this house where she houses 5 of them.
So this is one of the rooms, so maybe you can peek in here.
A great starting point. A lot of former prisoners have terrible difficulties to reintegrate. When they return to normal life, they have a huge debt to pay. In Oklahoma, prisons are not free. The longer the sentence, the higher the price.
I owe $107,000 to the Department of Oklahoma after I did 7 years.
The fines and fees for in Oklahoma, like a meth charge, one meth charge is $25,000. If you have 4 different charges, there's $100,000. Then they set you up on payments of $50 a month. How long will that take to pay off? Because if you don't pay or you miss a payment, they can revoke your sentence and send you back to prison.
You want me to get out of prison, you want me to work the job that you didn't help me get, and then you want me to pay you guys all this money after all this time that I spent in prison.
It's like housing cattle. Warehousing. It's all it is. And we're their bacon. We're the money. So if they don't have us, they don't get their money.
I mean, from rides to...
In Oklahoma, maternal neglect is one of the main reasons why there are, on average, twice as many women in prison as in the rest of the U.S.
They did not.
And here they would rather you be in the home, taking care of your children, than to be out doing anything, even if it's productive, a job, or it's very
archaic.
Very archaic. Very old school, good old boy system.
There are currently 342 women imprisoned for maternal neglect in Oklahoma. 1 in 6 are women. This is how Tondalao Hall, Christie's former student, was sentenced to jail. In 2004, she was only 19 years old when her partner beat her 2 children, aged 3 months and 2 years. They suffered broken bones. The man was sentenced to 9 years in prison. In actuality, he spent only 2 years behind bars. She, who was never violent, was sentenced to 30 years in prison for failing to protect her children.
It's over, my life is over.
After a national protest, she was finally pardoned after serving 15 years of her sentence.
Tondalao Hall walks out of prison free and into the arms of her 16-year-old son.
We are back to prison. It's a big day.
Hi! You ready?
Christy meets up with one of her students for her last hours in prison.
Yay! Yay!
41-year-old Brandy has spent half her life in prison, also because of the Maternal Neglect Act. Today, she takes last steps towards freedom.
Can you believe it? 21 and a half years to the day.
Yes, to the day.
To the day.
Yes.
I know, I listened to you. You look great.
Cool.
And you wore the right eyeliner to go with your shirt.
Yeah,
how about that?
It matches.
I know, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Brandy's son died of meningitis when he was 1 year old. The Oklahoma court found her guilty of abuse. The father, on the other hand, was never charged. For Brandy, this return to freedom is a leap into the unknown.
I feel like whenever I get overwhelmed, I better tell myself at least I'm not in prison anymore. Focus on all the little things that you're going to be grateful not having to deal with anymore, like using the bathroom with everybody and taking a shower with everyone and being in a big open pod and everyone being crazy all night long. And
upon her release, Brandy heads to the capital. where she is expected to attend a panel discussion on the unjust situation of women in prison. She and Christy meet up with other former inmates. Brandy agreed to give her testimony.
The interim study? Yeah.
In the parliamentary chamber, Brandy faces prosecutors and lawyers. A difficult speech after 21 years in prison and barely 2 hours of freedom.
Pull that microphone up kind of close and give us your name, please.
Thank you. My name is Brandy Alexander. Thank you for letting me speak today. And I've been incarcerated for 21 and a half years since I was 19. I had 3 children before I came here that were all under 5. And so my son, he had meningitis and I came to prison for neglect. And because my mother-in-law wanted me gone, she told them bad things, which, thank God, I just now finally got in contact with my babies. December and February, they contacted me and told me they figured out, they've grown up and figured out what really happened, but some people don't get that chance. Everything that we went through isn't who we are. So, yeah, thank you guys.
Any questions?
Brandy has been separated from her children, not seeing them during her sentence. She hopes to reconnect. As for Christy, she's calling for an end to the law on maternal neglect, which she believes is fundamentally unfair.
We're here to say this is wrong. Look at us. We have a voice. This is wrong. Do something about it. So the whole, one of the parts of the interim study is to pique an interest for lawmakers to write something, to step up and be brave and not just stay comfortable, but to be brave and say, yes, that's wrong. Let's write a bill about that. So that's what we hope for,
Stated.
That's awesome.
Okay, so, and you have my number, right? I know you have you have it memorized. Well, I just want to make sure you feel safe and everything.
Yeah, thank you.
So, okay. Even if you had to call me at 2 in the morning.
You're my family.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
In this ultra-repressive world, one man is swimming against the tide. He would like to end the state's prison policy. At the Oklahoma City Courthouse, we have an appointment with Judge Kenneth Stoner. Since 2018, he has been in charge of a drug rehabilitation program. His goal, to empty the prisons. Here, the law sentences drug users to prison. The judge offers them a release on condition that they do not use anything for 2 years. No drugs or alcohol.
All rise.
Thank you. Happy Thursday, everybody. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
They have to take urine tests on a regular basis.
Shelton Carter. Shelton, you want to come on up?
And appear in court.
How many sober days do you have now? 75. 75? All right.
The atmosphere is more like a support group than a courtroom, with the judge acting as a personal development coach.
Tell me, what was before you got in the program, you might say a little bit about kind of where your life was and where your addiction was?
Roxy's, heroin, meth, you name it, I was doing all of it.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
About 5-6 years.
Wow, all right.
That's just, it was hard, but once I really started giving effort and believing in myself again, it got easier over time.
Yeah, awesome.
There are 400 people participating in the judge's program.
Always good to see you. Take care. You can do this, man. Thank you.
However, if they don't follow the rules, they are punished immediately.
Jefferson.
Another man comes before the judge. He missed a urine test and a court hearing.
You're being dishonest. I believe that you are playing games, and I'm putting you in custody pending further order. You're in contempt of court, okay? I mean, you've had plenty of opportunity to this program, and there's one thing, I can work with you if you're being honest. I cannot work with you if you're playing games, and you, my friend, are playing games, and I'm done with it.
For him, it's straight back to prison. After 2 years, if the rules are respected, the judge organizes a small ceremony in the middle of the court, with the music from the movie Rocky in the background.
All right. Will you guys please help me celebrate the hard work and the graduation of Mr. Julian Carter.
This is a great day for the now ex-drug addict, who has brought his family with him.
What's up, Julian? How many sober days you got?
I got 1,235.
All right. I want to introduce you to Mr. Steve Huddleston. He works in the district attorney's office. He has something for you.
Mr. Carter, as part of the deal, when you signed up, is that if you were successful, the district attorney was going to dismiss your charges. And I have for you your copy of the motion in order to dismiss your charges. So that's for you today.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Since the beginning of this program, 2,300 drug users have been released from prison. However, Judge Stoner's method is a rare find in Oklahoma.
And so some of our mentality is kind of left over from the Wild West days, that we expect law and order. We expect people to be respectful of their neighbors, and we have a very low tolerance for people who commit criminal offenses. So, you know, this is we'll say the epicenter of the problem, and what we're trying to do is be the epicenter of the solution.
While Judge Stoner attempts to moderate the state's criminal policy, new laws are paving the way for a new type of offenders. On the 24th of June 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court abolished a fundamental American right.
In a sweeping ruling that overturned
Bottom line, Roe versus Wade is overruled. There is no constitutional right to an abortion in this country anymore as of today.
From that moment, it has been up to individual states to decide on the right to abortion in their territory. Oklahoma's governor was the first to sign one of the most restrictive laws in the country.
We want Oklahoma to be the most pro-life state in the country. We want to outlaw abortion.
Abortion, permitted throughout the United States since 1973, was suddenly banned in many Republican states, including Oklahoma. The only exception being in cases of rape or risk of the mother's life. The few clinics that still perform abortions had to close their doors overnight. We head for Tulsa, the second largest city in the state.
Cover your eyes. I feel it. Trying to track down. It's the plastic that's who's mopping the floor.
This is the last day of the women's clinic, which was to celebrate its 50th anniversary in 2023. A great sadness for the employees, including 64-year-old Susan.
We celebrate all the women we've helped and all have helped and will help. This is. I don't want to be sad, even though I am sad. But we are going to help as many women as we can from here on out. It might not be in this location, but it's all in our heart.
Performing an abortion in Oklahoma is now a felony, punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison. Brandy is the oldest. She has been a nurse here for 18 years.
18 years. I've walked in this store, taken care of a lot of women. But I always said, I will be in this fucking building until they shut me down. Yeah. But they fucking shut me down.
Bam.
Not forever. Not forever.
Not forever.
To new adventures.
To new adventures.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I mean, the world's laughing at us. I mean, the world was laughing at us for Trump, and now it's laughing at us for this. I mean, my God.
The equipment will be transported to a clinic in New Mexico, where abortion is still allowed. Brandy's journey continues. She's not going to give up.
And as soon as we can get this motherfucker back up, I'll come home.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll be in New Mexico. Yeah, this is temporary.
The clinic used to do 60 abortions a day. Now the car park is empty. For Susan, it's a lost battle. She has been working here for years. She was in charge of accompanying women who wanted to have an abortion. She used music to drown out the insults of the anti-abortion protesters who spent all their time outside the clinic.
And ta-da, we're ready. So every day of the week, they would come and they would scream at patients, you know, meet the cars. Hi, I'm a clinic escort. I'm here invited. I'm invited by the clinic. I'm here to drown those yahoos out. And they would be here. And then if they ever got up here like this, I'd call them out and say, you're trespassing, you need to get back up. Oh, you're just nitpicking. And I'm like, no, that is the law.
In this footage, we see the perspective of the protesters.
Turn to Jesus Christ today. It's not too late for you. Please rescue your baby. Have mercy on your baby. Your precious child. You're the one who's headed for hell and death.
This anti-abortion protester filmed every woman he passed in the car park. In this footage, he goes straight for Susan.
Why don't you worry about the fact that you are headed for hell because you destroy children? You thought about that? You destroy children. Well, God already said it.
We wanted to know more about this man and his motives. He arranged to meet us in a surprising place, the Iron Maiden concert in Tulsa. He may have won his battle with the clinic, but his war's not over. He wants abortion to be completely banned, everywhere, without exceptions.
Friends, we live in a holocaust of child sacrifice. Here in Oklahoma, it continues. We're all complicit, much like the Germans in 1930s Germany. Yeah, but what did all the good people do? Oh, nothing. They were going to Das Iron Maiden concert. They were just entertaining themselves, just like you. Or they're using it to fund other...
Here, Alan Miracle doesn't interest many people. Yet, the 38-year-old computer engineer spends all his spare time running operations like this. He's not always well received.
What does that have to do with rock and roll?
It's a good question.
What does it have to do? Have you ever read any of the lyrics? No, hell no, you haven't.
Hey, kiss my fucking ass, dude.
And you know what?
If
they didn't want to
make sure to get that.
Yeah,
get it. Like that baby? That baby guy? Did they leave him alone? The baby there? I'm going to treat you like a baby. Yeah. Okay. Hey, sir. You see this camera? You see that camera right there? You see the police around here? Okay, I'm not going to be afraid to call the police if they're charged. Yeah, this is a little above average in terms of violence and ferocity.
Alan is quick to forget the damage his words caused. He will post all these exchanges on social networks. We met up with him at his home the next day in a small suburban area of Tulsa.
Welcome to our place.
He wanted to show us another image of himself, very different from his videos.
I like snowballs.
He's a family-oriented man, a good father proud to have raised a little girl with Down syndrome, whom he and his wife decided to keep.
I'm all clean. Look. It's Beeb. Call him Beeb.
Tire man.
Yeah, he's a tire man.
The Michelin mascot. Alan is a lover of France and speaks French fluently.
Nous avons étudié à Clermont-Ferrand en 1999 et 2000, une année scolaire par là. Et évidemment, nous avons fait la visite guidée de l'usine Michelin par là. Donc maintenant, c'est un des jouets préférés de notre fille.
At home, everything reminds him of his fondness of French culture. He loves the language and the cuisine.
Ici, on mange le beurre. Vraiment le beurre. On a appris ça en France.
Je sais que la gastronomie française n'est rien sans le beurre. C'est important, hein?
Alan presents himself as a defender of life. He likes to say that his convictions were formed after his wife had 2 miscarriages. He carries the memory with him around his neck.
Donc celui en japonais, c'est le nom Sora, ce qui veut dire les cieux en japonais. Et l'autre en arabe, c'est Ishmaël. Notre premier enfant est mort dans le ventre, mais très jeune, à 6 semaines, 7 semaines de développement. Et je me suis rendu compte qu'elle était une fille, elle était ma fille, elle était vivante, un être humain. Et ensuite, je me suis rendu compte que la plupart des avortements dans le monde sont faits à cet âge. Et donc, je me suis rendu compte comme elle était être humain, et j'ignorais un peu l'Holocauste qui prend les vies de tellement de personnes de la même âge. Ça m'a provoqué un peu à l'action.
The Holocaust, a misused term to evoke abortion. In his eyes, a woman who has an abortion is a murderer.
Que quand une femme veut avorter son enfant, c'est elle qui doit chercher la clinique, c'est elle qui doit commander les drogues, c'est elle qui va avaler les drogues, c'est elle qui va payer le médecin pour qu'il mette ses armes dans elle, dans son corps, pour permettre que le bébé soit tué. Donc c'est la faute de la mère. Donc quelqu'un qui tue quelqu'un sans aucune provocation, etc., avec une bonne connaissance de ce qu'ils font, oui, ça peut aller jusqu'à la peine de mort, tout à fait. Snow was falling. Look closely at the flakes. Can you see their shapes?
A man who claims to stand for life but wants to drive women who abort their child to the death penalty. Everywhere in Oklahoma, increasingly radical movements are taking place. After the right of women to control their own bodies, education is now being targeted. All books dealing with racism, homosexuality, minority rights are threatened to be banned.
Making cookies for tonight.
We are at Janice Danforth's house. She's 48 years old, married, with 2 children. She's a medical secretary, but above all, an ultra-conservative activist.
It's really important, I feel, for a family in America and anywhere in the world to have 2 parents and teaching them in good morals, good character. We are a Christian family, so God is a big part of our family, and that really is the base, the foundation of what everything else is set upon.
For the past year, in the name of her vision of morality, Janice has been on a crusade against the Oklahoma school system. Her inspiration comes from a far-right intellectual.
So this is one of my favorite authors, James Lindsay, and this book, Race Marxism, is his latest. I did get an autograph because I met him.
James Lindsay, a conspiracy author banned for life from Twitter. He accuses public education of spreading leftist ideology. Today, Janice is convinced that children in school are at risk.
Okay, are you leaving now?
Yep, we gotta go.
In recent years, the conservative right has been on the offensive against books they consider indecent. In Oklahoma, 50 have been banned from certain public schools. Masterpieces such as John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men, about the class struggle, or Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, which denounces a dictatorial, futuristic society, or even books by Black American authors dealing with racism, such as Maya Angelou or the Nobel Prize winner Toni Morrison. Today, Janice is presenting at the Tulsa School Board, which is in charge of 78 public schools. Her goal is to have a new book banned as immoral.
You know, we want accountability, we want transparency, we just want, you tell us what's being taught, and then if we don't like it, we're not going to allow our children to be taught it. We want to get back to the basics of teaching, writing, reading, arithmetic, history, those types of things, not the other stuff that often is coming out in the limelight right now.
To get her point across, she uses her ally on the committee.
Hey friends. What's going on? So I'm
going to speak tonight about books, and I'm actually going to read part of an excerpt from one that they're probably not going to love, but we're at that point. We'll see what they say. She's our warrior board member who has the same moral compass and values and standards that we do of setting.
We think that she's a rock star.
No. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation.
After the traditional pledge of allegiance to the flag, the session begins. Elena, Janice's friend, has a question for the head of the committee.
So my other question then, will parents be able to look at the curriculum and know about this curriculum before it's presented to the students?
No. We don't begin our year by sharing all the curriculum for every course in every school and every classroom around the district.
We should.
But we do certainly have curriculum. So I would like you to please not yell during other people speaking. As a result of a very significant teacher and staff shortage. And,
Then it's Janice's turn. She's allowed to speak at the end of the meeting. Her target of the day, the book Out of Darkness, about a love story between two Mexican and Black American teenagers in the 1930s.
Out of Darkness is another example of a book that is filled with obscenity in the form of pedophilia, and it is sitting on the shelves of many high schools here at TPS.
In the book, a girl is sexually assaulted, a description that Janice believes warrants banning the book.
The section I'm going to read to you is a stepfather molesting his stepdaughter, who's a senior in high school. He took one of her hands in his and squeezed it. "Come on over here." He pulled her to her feet close to him. He shifted in his pajamas, and the part of him that made him a man stuck out, reddish purple and frightening. She had never seen one before except on a baby. The book I just read is third grade reading level. Children's innocence is worth it protecting, and it's time to stand up against the gross misuse of power. Thank you.
End of the meeting. The decision on whether or not to ban the book will not be made tonight. This type of intervention by parents is becoming more and more common. It's a tough battle for the head of the committee.
So everything from public education to books to you name it. Everything seems to be about politics right now. The book she read from, I'm certain, would only be on high school shelves. It says it's written at a third grade level. That's just a reading level. That doesn't mean we're encouraging third graders to read it.
The more liberal residents are being forced to put down their arms and even leave Oklahoma. We drove to Albuquerque, New Mexico, the neighboring Democratic state. We met up with Brandy, the nurse that used to perform abortions at the clinic in Oklahoma.
Okay, you ready? That's my girl.
2 months after the Tulsa clinic closed, she moved here, leaving her partner behind, and found a job at another facility.
And I miss my wife, but it's also something I've done for so many years, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So here I am. As long as we can keep this clinic up and going, I'll still be doing it. I will be doing this until they totally shut us down. Okay? You stay. Right.
New Mexico represents a little free haven.
So I always park back here.
In the middle of states where abortion was recently banned: Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma.
Come on in.
Brandy is seeing more and more women who have traveled thousands of miles to have an abortion.
And more women travel on the Friday and Saturday just because they can get a flight and go home, and also have a day of rest on a Sunday, depending on which procedure they do. So yeah, this is our busy day, and tomorrow will probably be busier.
One of the patients agreed to let us film the consultation.
Hello. How are you today?
Monica is 22 years old. She's just arrived from a small town in Texas, more than 6 hours away from the clinic.
So this is your first pregnancy?
Yes, ma'am.
Have a seat.
So we are going to try to do this ultrasound just abdominally. Let's see if I'm on my right probe. Good. Am I hurting you?
No.
Looking like you're still pretty early. I'm getting you at about 6 weeks and 3 days. Does that sound about right? On a scale of 1 to 10,
Monica made the trip with her boyfriend.
to expect a 10.
As much as it is my choice, it's pretty hard. Like me having to come all the way over here, you know, and like not having the choice back home. I did grow up very, like in a Christian household, you know. My mom was very conservative, and so, I mean, it's not like I can talk to anybody about the situation. I'm young, I have things that I want to do. I'm very selfish, you know. And I know that it's not...
Nah, it's not being selfish. It's just you looking out for yourself for right now.
Yeah, this is the best decision for me.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
No?
Okay.
Okay, perfect, girlie. You have survived me. You can go have a seat all the way back up front.
Hello. Hello. So... And you're just going to swallow this first pill?
Monica takes the first pill in the clinic. Then she will have to swallow 3 more pills within 48 hours when she gets home, which will cause a miscarriage.
I think the most dangerous thing about, you know, us not having the decision is I instantly started thinking of at-home ways that I can get rid of, you know what I mean? I mean, we were looking at remedies. I know, like castor oil, if you take like a certain, I mean, I don't know, it's not looking into, you know what I mean? Like I was trying to just see any way rather than coming here and doing it safely, you know what I mean? And then obviously when I talked to my boyfriend, he was like, no, I don't want to, like, I'm going to do it the right way. We'll travel if we have to.
Monica did the right thing. The health risks of having a backstreet abortion are huge. But she had to pay the price, 1,500 euros for the procedure, travel and overnight hotel stay. Many other women are not able to afford to do what she did and have to suffer the consequences.